We brought them to the shop. We're keeping a couple to replace anything like out front. We're going to keep the ones out in front of the pro shop.
Okay.
Anything happens to them by chance, storm, something like that, we got replacements. And then if we want to come up with something different, you know, Jeff and I can put our heads together, you know what I mean?
I would have given quality of the golfers.
Yeah, I mean,
They hit it. Yeah.
I'm sure there's ricochet balls or something. Somebody walks by and got their club in their hand, just by impulse and like, tink, you know, just to do it. I mean, people are funny, man. You know, but they're going left and right.
And you can see the chips on it, that it was something that...
Yeah, you can see the chips on the top when it didn't break, it just took a little bit off. No, they're not the thickest pots, that type of pottery. I forget what the name of it. It comes from Mexico, but they're not super thick, so.
John, it seems like we're exclusively using mats on the driving range.
We have for years, yeah.
Yeah. So why don't we consider moving all of that hitting area to the front of the water and open up all that space to be able to remove or relocate the putting green?
Where would you put it?
Right behind the hitting area. And take the tee box where they're hitting off the mats all the way to the front of the water. If you're just going to hit off mats.
Well, no, I think the original plan is to redo the range and take that kidney bean shape in the front because it has a curve. And so what it does is when you start at that apex on that turn and you make a straight line for the range, you lose all this area because you can't, you want to wrap it because then people are definitely going to be firing in 18 and not so much 10 because most people are right-handed, but the few that are left. But the theory, the plan is when we go redo the range, right in front of the mats, because you have a 4-inch concrete pad, is to take it down about 6 to 8 inches, kind of sloped up front, and all that material, that 6 to 8 inch material, you take out, push it to the front of the range, make it straight, level it off, and then you got all this extra teaching area, and then in the summer and spring, we'll be probably exclusively on grass. In the wintertime, when it gets cold and they're beating up the range, we'll go down the range, then put them on the mats for a couple weeks, let it heal up, and then, but it'll give us more area.
Yeah, I was just thinking if we're just going to hit off mats, there's no sense in wasting 40 yards of turf when we can move the tee box forward because you can't hit the houses with a limited flat ball. So.
Right. But the plan has always been to redo that, to push that forward and expand that. We've had some vandalism the past couple days on flag sticks on 14 and 15. I got new flags coming. I don't have any spares. I do have some other flags, but I don't have any of the new green and yellow ones. But they're coming. I have one stick left. They broke one stick, so we had 2 spares, so I got one left. I'll order some more of those. It's just something to think about. I asked Tammy to send an email blast out for me, just to kind of remind people.
Make sure build the general fund for that.
And
2 years we've left them out there and they've been fine.
I know, just all of a sudden,
Brand new ones.
brand new too, yeah, brand new. And Chuck, I don't know if you're aware of this. I just want to bring this to your attention. So the chlorine tablets for that chlorine system doubled in price. So we're looking from $300 a bucket to $600 for one bucket.
Yep.
I didn't know. I'm sure you know that. But
Yeah, we got the price increase notices across the board.
Okay. A lot of things are, but I just wanted to give you a heads up on it.
Yeah, just thankful we're still getting chlorine.
Yeah, yeah, right. And then last but not least is wages. Current wages of current employees. This whole staffing issue crisis that's going around nationwide, really, from everybody I've talked to. Definitely in this industry down here. The people that I do have left on my staff, my laborers, they're currently making $13.75 an hour. One guy's even making less than that. My new hire I spoke of, he's making $13. And then on the common grounds, I pretty much have the same scenario. Everybody's making $13.75, except for my foreman, who's making $17. And then the irrigation tech position, which is not filled currently at the moment. But part of the problem I'm having is, one, we're not even getting people walking through the door. And I'm terrified that I'm gonna lose people at these wages that we have them at. I know that by law, it's 2026, I believe we have to be at minimum wage, which will be $15 an hour. But I can't stress this enough to say that the time is upon us now. You can't get people to walk in through the door for less than $15 an hour right now.
John. Did you check with other,
I have, and I showed some stuff a few meetings back about it. I had some text messages with other guys. But I recently called Tim, I forget his last name, at Mediterra. I asked him what he was paying. He said the same thing. He's like, I'm paying him $15 an hour, no experience, starting out. He's like, and plus I'm running three temps at $18 an hour. So he's paying $18 an hour for the temps, but he's not paying workman's comp, insurance, all that stuff, with no experience. So, and I asked him, I said, hey, how about, people coming in through the door? He says that they're not doing it. They're not coming. So, all right, and I know that. I just wanted to make sure, check with him. Some of the guys I'm on the board with, my vice president and stuff, same thing. He's running temps. He's running 3 or 4 temps. He's starting his laborers out, no experience. It's 16, just to have that competitive edge. So I would like to at least propose, I put a proposal on everybody to increase the wages of these laborers. For the golf course, it would be an annual increase overall for the budget of $12,000.
and that's including benefits?
And that's including payroll taxes and fees, and that's every employee. So it's not $12,000 each, it's for the payroll budget.
Do we pay, if we were to hire temps, do we pay payroll taxes on temps?
No, we
Would
don't.
that save us that money if we?
No, not really,
Because you're paying them $18 an hour.
because you're paying, that, and then
Where's the?
and then the payroll company gets their cut. Because what it is, the payroll company's probably only paying them 12 or 13,
Gotcha. That's what they're billing, 60.
Right.
18,
Right. And I think that's what they are paying them, is
you
12 or
figure
13 to 10.
17% per employee.
Can't we find some of those and maybe hire them permanently on our own?
That's the thing. So, that was the thing we've done in this industry. Anytime you've had to get temps and you get them and you find a good one, you tell them, hey man, just quit going to work, come here and I'll hire, and I'll pay you more money, and that's what you would do. But the temps can't even get employees right now. You see what I mean? So what's happening is the temps that are there, they're actually staying at these golf courses, and even though they're temps, they're staying there at these one spots because they can't move them around. They don't have, the influx coming in. On that note, for the common grounds to do the same thing for those laborers, that would be an increase of $8,450 for the payroll budget. That includes payroll taxes and fees for those 4 employees, currently 4 employees. I'm not going to speak on Jeff's behalf, but I'm sure Jeff has seen what I'm talking about. It's surreal, to be honest with you. I was very hopeful with those other 2 people, and I still got hope on the one kid for being the irrigation tech. If I can just get a hold of him, maybe I can wine him and dine him, tell him how great and wonderful everything is here, and, tell him a bunch of lies about, how I can make his dreams come true.
Yeah.
Till the next time we want them done.
The primary issue with hiring and staffing, I've had a lot of staffing issues this year, just basically because I guess I train golf pros to be pretty good because everybody wants them. When you say to a kid, hey, come to work for me, I'll give you 13 an hour, and they go across the street to get a hamburger and they say they can make 16.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an issue. I mean, you're talking about, okay, you can supervise, I'll teach you how to supervise, you'll make scheduling, do different stuff, and I'll pay you $13 an hour. Well, at McDonald's, they pay second shift supervisors 21.
And I think they're paying.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if they're golf professionals, sure, they can make extra money teaching once they learn how to teach. And we have a huge junior program that, works out pretty good. But still, if it's just a regular, like Peyton, for example, Peyton is not a golf pro. She doesn't teach. I mean, I'm very lucky to have her at 16 something an hour for her experience and her education. I mean, she's got to learn about golf, but I mean, she's a great employee to have at that wage, for what it is. And John's right. I mean, they put the minimum wage at $15 by 2026, and between the economy currently and what's going on since COVID, it's already there. I mean, you can't hire decent people for less than $15 an hour. And unfortunately, it kind of blows our budgets up this year, but, next year we'll make the proper adjustments. The flip side of it is here in a couple minutes when it's my turn, I'm gonna tell you how well we're doing.
Right, and that's exactly how we need to look at it.
So, you know,
We need to support it, we need to get it.
As far as my budget, it's not gonna affect it because I've been a man down on the golf course. I mean, it's not, and we're already 6 months into this budget almost, really.
Right.
Next month will be 6 months, so it's not gonna affect my budget whatsoever.
Just have to look at it for next.
Just next year, you know, knowing that moving forward. And then another thing, one of my employees, he's deaf. His name's Mike, really good employee. He came up to me the other day, and we're both Steelers fans, and we were talking about the playoffs and whatnot. And we got on the subject of wages and working, and he's like, I know a lot of golf courses right now, you know, you can go get paid $16 an hour. And I'm just like, yeah, we sure can. And what do I, you know, then that's scary, you know, it's like, well, if he knows this, you know, and all it takes is him, hey, guys, come on, let's go. You know what I mean? That's file the coop, and, you know, I'll be cutting cups, mowing greens.
Why not make these employees all feel, because you look at these dates, most of these people, they're here multiple years.
Oh, yeah.
Why not make them feel like, hey, you know what, you've done a great job for us for multiple years. I know you can go out there and get 16 an hour. We're gonna take you all to 16 an hour at this point.
I was about to say the same thing, Jeff. I mean, what you were just saying, and just looking at this even before you spoke, is this enough?
I agree.
I mean, if we can bring, I personally think we can, I mean, I'm a substitute teacher. I get $14 an hour to work with kids. I mean, it's crazy. But yeah, I do think that if we bring them to 16, the course is doing well. I think we need to encourage them, and maybe with that being said, they'll tell their friends, hey, they're treating us right here.
No, the flip side of that is when you see that, I mean, do we do this is probably getting to be offline conversations, but, and probably for you and Jeff to have, but, so you go to 16 across the board, is the person that's been here longer that's not only getting bumped up $1.50 versus the person that's getting bumped up $3 an hour? You know, how do you?
Right, so the way I would look at it is everybody that like at the $13.75 wage, let's say whatever the amount we decide, we take them to that. Obviously, the new kid, the Josue, no, he could probably go to, let's say we went 16 for arbitrary numbers, we could take him to that 15 number. There, you know, that's fine, he has no experience.
Right.
I don't think that would be an issue for him. Yeah, you know, maybe like Brian might have to get like a 50-cent bump, you know, to keep him, you know, because you do gotta.
Right. That's
right.
why going
Maximino.
People that are currently making over 16, and if they don't get bumped up, they're gonna go.
Well, if you look at the top guy, Maximino Ramirez, see how he's at $14.50. That's my next best employee. I mean, he is a thoroughbred, you know, and I will do whatever I got to do to keep him because he keeps everything in line when he has the crew with him. You know, I know good work's going to be done. So right, you know, we'd have to take him up, you know, a little bit. But I can put these numbers together if we come up with that number. You know, maybe even do all right, 16, 15.
Right.
You know.
I mean, that, by doing that, I mean, if we look at it, other than Josue, bring them all up $1.50 an hour, and that would bring Maximino to 17, the rest of them to 16, you know, from what you had originally anticipated. I mean, I think we need to do it.
I think you make the floor 15, and the base
You
right
mean
now is
$1.50
13,
more
that raises
than
it
the
by $2
new
an hour.
rate.
The new rate, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Follow me?
Yeah.
So if the floor is 13 with
Post-rate.
Gonzalez, that gets him up $2 an hour, just raise everybody $2 an hour. That's the easiest way to do
I
it.
think that's probably the best. I think, yeah.
That's a good idea.
That is a good idea. That's probably the best way to go about it.
Yeah, instead of nickel and dime.
I'm sorry?
Our laborers start off $15 to $18.
So we
And roofers now, I mean, I heard roofers are getting like $25 an hour.
Our foreman gives $25 an hour.
Yeah.
We have one gets $28 an hour.
I know, and you would pay them more if you could, right?
We're short-staffed by 60 people.
60. Right, I know, Publix, I talked to the general manager of Publix, he said I could hire 500 people right now. You know.
Okay, so let's look at this. So we're saying that we would raise,
Basically bring everybody up $2 an hour, so starting at Maximino,
$2 an hour from the new rate?
from the current hourly range.
Okay. So that,
So we'll,
Make him 15, you know, 2.
exactly. And then down here.
Okay, so let's just do this so we can vote on this. So Maximina would be 1650,
Yes,
Juan,
1575.
Michael,
1575.
Romulo,
1575.
Libby,
1575.
and Josue 15.
Yes.
Okay, and that would bring,
Brian to 1950.
okay,
Rick to 2055.
Crosby,
2173.
and Dave,
Dave's hourly, so that would bring him up to 30.14.
okay.
And the
then-
assistant mechanic, we'll just leave it 19 to 21.
Right.
Based on their experience. Right.
Since
they're
it's not here. Jose,
19.
okay. Rosa,
So the next three, oh, I'm sorry, no, the next two would be 1575, Rosa and Randy.
and Jorge, 1550. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then irrigation tech, same thing, but we'll leave the range at 16 to 18.
Okay, until we get somebody. I think it's something that we have to do. I'd like to make a motion to increase these employees to that rate.
So,
I'll second, or Phil second.
Any further discussion?
What about Jeff's crew?
just to give you a quick, let me give you a quick real number, just as this is an average. We're pretty good at math. So you're looking at about 20, instead of 12,000 for the golf course, you're looking at about 24,000 total.
Okay,
Payroll, taxes, and fees, probably 25. And then for the common ground, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. You're looking at about 13,000 for overall budget.
okay.
My crew's mainly new.
No.
I could go case by case. The non-tipped employees, the tipped employees, I'm not,
No, they're
they're tipped employees.
They're
but
tipped.
But the inside pro shop staff, yeah, I could go case by case with them.
okay. And then just submit it at the next meeting, we can take
Yes,
care of
ma'am.
it.
I will do
What
that.
are we paying the tipped employees?
Tipped employees make snack bar 11, and the outside, they start at minimum, and with experience, the bad guys, they go minimum to, like, I think Dan's at 13.
What is the
Dan's big guy.
minimum these days?
The starters and rangers are all at minimum,
Which is,
11.
okay. All right,
So, I mean, it's possible starters and rangers could use a little something, that'd be nice, you know. They're not telling me about other golf courses.
yeah, so let's.
They like working here, you know,
Yeah,
but
let's just leave that for
and most of them
now.
are retired guys that's working for little
In
something.
several streets. So look at your other staff, bring it to the next meeting. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Well, I'm sorry, what did you just ask for? You were talking to him or me?
You.
About bringing what to the next
And
meeting?
then the-
No, him, John. Jeff to bring it to the next meeting. Okay.
So we're greenlighting John right now.
We're just greenlighting John
I'm
right now.
green-lighted for the wage increase.
Right, so the ones that we just, and, you know, maybe today at the lunch, you can just tell them that they're going to be getting an increase.
I was thinking about that. Yeah, I guess I'd.
Yeah.
Yeah, might as well. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
start on February 1st or whatever that payroll
Yeah,
period
whatever
is.
the next pay period, where we can do it. But I think we need to, because we can't, I mean, if you lose one more employee, I mean, that, you're losing.
No, I'm very thankful for this. I think it, you know,
I think it'll encourage
I'll
them.
have to redo some of the advertisements we got out with the wage increase and stuff and hopefully
Okay.
bring people in. I mean,
I don't see any other thing really to do, and even at this, we might lose people.
That's right.
Right,
You know, it's just the nature of
beast right now.
business right now.
And if we don't get employees, the board will be out mowing lawns, so I'm just letting you know. Chuck, you'll be there too?
Absolutely.
Well, this is something we need to address like every 6 months.
Oh,
I know
absolutely.
that this will be a nice boost for them for the short term.
sure, it's about 4,000 a year.
Yeah.
But we don't know what 6 months down the road is going to look like. We may have to do it again.
Right, and this is something we have to look at, so I'm glad we did this sooner than later, and
Jeff brought up a good point, because I saw it too. You know, driving over to Publix, and I saw that McDonald's, and I was like, man, that much money?
Well,
For
that-
hamburgers?
And I'm thinking, I substitute teach.
But I did think about us, I was like, man, that really puts us in.
And they pay through like one of the Venmo apps,
Next
where you
day.
get paid after the shift.
Yeah, immediately.
Immediate gratification,
Yeah.
so.
World's changing.
Yes, it is.
is.
No, I'm very happy for this, thank you.
Okay.
I can't
Jeff?
thank you enough. Now I feel like I got a little leverage.
Well, let them know we appreciate them.
Oh, absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely.
We don't want them leaving.
No, and we'll say that at the, after we do the thing for the consent day today, just to let them know that they will be all getting an increase, and, you'll discuss with each one of them what it will be, and I'll just have Honorable speak for it.
Okay. And one last note, a couple gentlemen came up to me. I'm going to look at trimming the palms along one on the golf course, and number 11. So we had to take some palms down. I don't know if you remember a couple months back on 11, they were leaning real heavy towards the condos, and we decided to take them out now, so we didn't have that liability later on down the road. And I was brought to my attention about maybe planting something else in their spot. So I'll look into that. The color theme for that hole is going to be red. It is with the Jeutropa. So I'll look into see if there's something smaller we can put there, and don't have to worry about it falling over and filling in the spots.
Okay.
And that's really it. That's really all I have.
Okay, thank you. Jeff?
John,
Yes, sir.
how are the greens holding up?
Great. Excuse me. Very good. I mean, other than the wear and tear on the putting green, the other ones are doing pretty good. We did have some mold damage on 4. Unfortunately, we had a little chemical damage. Somebody who was cutting cups, they must have used a cart that had some kind of chemical in it, because when I was rolling yesterday, I noticed like there's a couple like little rings here and there where they set the bucket down.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, and then I noticed like 1 or 2 spots, I'm like, well, this has been a couple days in a row, like they were changing, because you set the bucket down twice, to where you cut the hole at and where you put the plug in at. And when I started seeing that pattern, I'm like, all right. So I had everybody clean out their carts yesterday, clean off everything, and make sure that doesn't happen. But as far as the greens, they're doing great, man. They really are.
The only one I noticed was a little bit was 3.
3 on the left-hand side. That is one of the worser areas, but that is also one of the worst drainage areas. As far as the gaps, I'm happy with it right now. I know it's not sightly, but
Well, I
it's,
just want, because it's starting to look like it did last year.
right, but it's nowhere near, I mean, that green was almost
Oh, yeah.
6-7 feet in, we roped it off. I don't know if you see we roped, because that's part of the problem too, because then nobody's going to go around the backside of that bunker. They're going to come off right there and hit that. And that's almost like, even though it's farther away from the path, it's almost like 13. Everybody gets funneled to that front left
Oh, right,
quadrant of the green. So we've roped it off to help prevent that a little bit. And that's all you can really do, is just try to keep people off of it and stay off of it, as much as you can. Grass isn't growing right now, it's too cold. We're just rolling, and if we're mowing, we're only doing it to mow off like people's foot marks and scuff marks and stuff like that, So,
Okay, thank you, John. Jeff?
Through 24 days, we are about 2,000 down to the full 31-day budget. So in other words, sometime today, we'll go over budget for the month, and we'll have the next 5 days to enjoy the surplus. Hopefully, we've been averaging between $15,000 and $22,000 a day, so we'll probably end anywhere from I'd say 60 to 100,000 ahead for the month of January. And that included one day we lost due to tornadic activity. It's pretty good. One of the things that jumps out on the page to me is, if you look at the range, we had budgeted for around 13,000. We've done 24,000 through 24 days. So we're averaging about 1,000 a day. Phil Olive talked to me a couple of weeks back on the phone about the idea and possibility of buying a range dispenser with a credit card swipe that we could put on the range. So if we close at 5, if you wanted to come hit balls after 5 o'clock, you just come out, swipe, stick your bucket under, it dumps, or you have tokens, or whatever kinds of different situations. There's a local company called Easy Picker Golf Easy Pickers out of Lehigh. They sell the machine. I had Lloyd do some research on it. We bought our ball washer from Easy Picker, and honestly, it hasn't been that great. We've had issues with it. Lloyd's had to redo the bearings 4 or 5 times. So I wanted to make sure what he thought about it. So to get what we need to be able to process at the level we process would be about $10,000. Plus we have to have electric, which would mean we'd be putting it right there by the tent somewhere if we're going to put it anywhere, because there's electric there. And we need to have baskets. And it takes 14,000 range balls, which is, we have something close to that now, to fill it. That fills the machine. So overall, you're looking at $10 a basket. You're looking at, 100 purchases after 5 to make your money back, which probably wouldn't take that long. There's another possibility of a company to do it. It's called Wittick. I think Wittick's out of California. They'll be at the show this week. I hadn't really planned on going to the show, but I might go Friday just to go look at the Wittick machine and look at a couple other little things. But yeah, I mean, I think it's probably a good investment as we look at the volume we're doing. So I'll get, by the next meeting, I'll have proposals from both, and I'll discuss with Lloyd more what he thinks about Easy Picker. There's conveniences to Easy Picker. I mean, we can go pick it up, we save on shipping, we save some money. Things go wrong, you just call them up and they're right over there. But
Not quality.
that ball washer machine has been a pain and not good.
The only thing I would say to that is they're not manufacturing that thing out there, is it?
Well, they have a warehouse. I don't know what they do exactly. They just hold stuff or they build it?
I just find it hard to believe they're building that.
They're probably
out there,
not. It's
but
probably
they
getting
might
shipped in
be.
from
So,
China.
whoever's making the ball dispenser might be a completely different company than what made the ball washer, potentially.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea. I mean, there's been several times personally that I'm working and it's about 5 and I'm like, oh man, I can't get up. I'd like to hit some balls, but I know I'm not gonna have time, but by 5:15 I can be ready, so that would be good. One thing I do though is, how do you think to work, and getting probably into the details, but how to work out with people that have range pass?
That's what I was
Well,
asking.
they make a card, and we were looking at it, that you issue the card, and it's just like a credit card, and you just swipe it, and it,
Yeah.
so instead of it being like an annual pass, it would be like a number of uses, like 100 or 200 or whatever it is.
We could program that
And
card for it.
we could, the first year, we could prorate it out to make it work for the people who bought them.
Yeah.
But then in the future, just go, instead of selling monthly, this is for 100 buckets, this is for 200 buckets, 300 buckets, that way.
Are we talking about going full automated, or you could still buy them in the pro shop?
So you can still buy them and just give them tokens.
Okay.
I mean, we would, the hours were open, we'd still give out tokens,
Okay.
but it would give you the after-hour ability to come in and swipe.
But you would no longer be storing them up in the pro shop, you would give you
Eliminate
bags
that.
and all that.
And no bags.
Everything
We're gonna have
goes through
buckets.
that
Yeah,
machine.
the buckets would be out there, everything's out there, just here's your token.
Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think, yeah.
Does that machine clean them too?
No.
Just
No.
a dispenser? I just dump them back in there and that's it? That's all you have to do?
Yeah, I've seen that, but I don't know.
They used to have.
Yeah, and they've had, yeah. We can look at it. I mean,
Yeah, that'll be your
the
charge.
one I looked at from Easy Picker, I mean, they didn't have it. But Wittick might.
If you're getting one that does the washing, we don't have water out.
You're correct.
So that would be another issue. We'd have to put it someplace else, or,
So,
so those are the two things.
we'll look at all of it, and I'll bring it to you next month, but I just want to make you aware of it. I think there's possibly some financial gain. I mean, it's going to cost a little bit initially, but I think down the road, and it will give a customer convenience. And with the, with the closing of Malico, we're it for public ranges, basically.
And they're not gonna build another. And we can use the lights. That's right.
Yeah. Excuse me. Okay. So February, we've got a couple of events coming up. February 4th, 5th, and 6th, the Chicago guys will be here. A lot of you guys don't know, maybe the Chicago guys is a group that comes here every year. It's a charity tournament. They're great guys. They spend a lot of money with us. They've been very generous with us. As a matter of fact, the white tent that is on the driving range was partially a donation from them. They gave us a couple, $4,000 towards that to purchase it. So, because they wanted to sit outside, they wanted to be outside. They didn't want to be in Duffy's per se, and they wanted to get their own caterer, so they bought a tent. So that's our commitment to our club. I'm really appreciative of it. We were able to use it for other events throughout the year, and we've been able to use it for HOA sponsored events, as long as we know the dates.
Yes. And they're on the calendar, the one that Tammy sent out yesterday.
Great.
Okay.
So Jeff, two of our competitors, I think are going to be shutting down for renovation.
Raptor Bay, I've been talking to Nancy about, I'm going to get a rate sheet together for them. And then who's the other one?
Oh, of course.
Screws going to close?
Renovate.
Okay.
It's probably going to be summer.
Well, more the merrier.
Yeah.
I did have an interesting conversation with a resident the other day that I thought maybe I'd share with the board. The resident coming in and it kind of made me chuckle a little bit, concerned about the amount of communities that are being built down Corkscrew without golf courses, that they're all going to come here.
Good.
I was like, okay. And I just want to make sure that the residents understand, the resident right now, the full rack's 150, your rate's 75, which is basically half. And you get 14 days instead of 7.
They're telling us motion.
No, they shouldn't be telling you that. It's 14.
Yeah, we just did this every time. Yesterday, we made our 2 times. That's why we had to change it.
Did you tell them you were Stony Brook residents?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. They're new guys. I'll check it out.
Thank you. Just clarify that.
14 days in advance. Okay, as a resident.
That's cool.
So, like, if you're worried about other communities playing golf here, I wouldn't. Because financially, it's really good for our golf course and really good for you.
Just one point to what you're saying, though, we can't get tee times. 5 days in advance, 6 days, we're not able to even get a time to book solid.
That is not an issue for me. I'm not even going to respond to that.
We're told we call in, we can't get it on 5, 6, or 7 days. Now you're telling us 14, so that gives us...
All 14 days out, and you should be able to get tee time. I'll make sure they all know. I don't know what they're thinking, but yes, 14 days for residents. 14 days and half price. I mean, it's a good deal if you're a resident.
Very good. No.
Yeah, so, I'm not concerned about the fact that Wild Blue doesn't have a golf course, and Wild Blue might come here to play. We've had Bellaterra for years, residents play here. We have Corkscrew Shores play here, and we will continue to, the place, we will continue to try to get these people to play golf here for sure. And, the price of poker is going to go up for them next year. We count on that. But as far as them playing here, I can only hope more people play here. Because that allows us to do things like bring in maybe a new putting green and pay off the bond a little early and move forward with some of the renovations. Because I don't know if anybody knows, a golf course is like a money pit. You just keep throwing money into it. It's constantly in need of renovation and renewal. We're in a great period for golf right now because of COVID. That's a horrible thing to say, but COVID was the best thing ever happened to golf. Mm-hmm. And I say that every meeting, seems like, but it's the truth. So we need to strike while the iron's hot, make sure that customers that we're gaining, that we keep, and that we provide one of the few public golf course experiences in Southwest Florida. Some of our junior golfer parents came to me, hey, we're moving to Gateway. Do you know any junior golf programs up that way? No, I don't. Unfortunately,
And Jeff, the one other thing that residents need to understand is any improvements, anything that's purchased for the golf course is strictly on the golf course revenues. So I can't, as some private courses can go, oh, we need to do this, so let's assess the residents X amount of dollars. We cannot do that. This golf course is, whatever they do is strictly on the revenues from the golf course. So that's something that the residents need to understand, that, we get the benefit of discounted prices and getting ahead. But other than paying your greens fees and for the range balls, you're not paying for all these improvements.
Which,
at a property.
that kills us in a situation when we're talking about these labor.
Yeah.
He said, well, I talked to somebody at Mediterra, and they put them to $18 an hour. Well, some resident at Mediterra, they're just going to get a bigger assessment at the end of the year, for their golf course. So for them, it's not, I'm sure it's heartburn for them. They don't want that.
Well, they can afford it.
But, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, where we have to take a look at this and say, well, what can we do with the revenue we bring in? And we got to balance it a little
Could
bit.
I ask a question, Rick, relative to that? Because, first of all, my name is Paul McFarland. I've been a resident here since 2002. So the house was paid for. So, first of all, to the golf course, which I think is relevant to a lot of other discussion that's coming up. First of all, I think that you have done a fantastic job over the years with the way you really just brought the golf course back from death, as far as I can tell, but in so many ways, okay? But I'd like to ask you a couple of financial questions. Number one, in last fiscal year, what were the earnings on the golf course?
It was a little over $3 million gross.
Was that sales or revenue or?
They had sales.